Well, hey guys, here's your week 9 MyStatsLab problem 1 example. I'm Doug, and let's just jump right into it. A market researcher for a provider of cellular phones wants to know the proportion of customers who own cars to assess the market for a new kind of car charger. A survey of 350 customers indicates that 90% own cars. So part A of our problem wants us to find the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the proportion. Well, we already know from our reading that the standard deviation of a sampling distribution is actually called the standard error. So that's what we're going to be looking for, the standard error, and we need a little bit of information in order to do that. The first thing we need to know is p hat, our sample proportion, and we are told that that is 90%, so we can put in this block 0.90. Now we also need to know q hat, and I know you guys already know that that is simply 1 minus the p hat. So let's say equals 1 minus, and we'll highlight our p hat figure, and there we have that at 0.10. And the last piece of information we need is n, and in this case n is 350. So let's put n at 350. So now we can find the standard error. And I've put here that the formula is on page 338 of your text. If you don't remember it, I think you've probably already used it some, but it's there. It is simply the standard the square root of p hat times q hat divided by n. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We can put the formula in here. I can start by saying equals, and if I start typing square root, there it comes right up there. I'm going to double click on it, and we can go ahead and put everything that we want to find the square root of inside of this. So I'm going to add another bracket so that I can take p hat times, highlight q hat, we'll close that bracket. We're going to divide by n. Now we can close it off completely, hit enter, and there we have it. The standard error for this sampling distribution is 0.0160. Not much to it, is it? Well, let's go ahead and finish part B, and we'll be done with this problem. How large would the standard deviation have been if the researcher had only surveyed 125 customers, assuming the proportion is about the same? So in that case, our proportions are going to be the same, so I'm going to highlight those, copy, and paste here. So we have our p hat and q hat, and now we're going to change n to 125. Now we're just doing the same thing again we just did. Equals, start typing square root, there it is, double click that. I'm going to add another bracket. Now I can say p hat times q hat, close that bracket, divided by n, close it off again, hit enter, and there we have it. Now the standard error is 0.268. So we know what our standard deviation, or in this case our standard error, would be for 350 customers. We also know if we only surveyed 125, what that standard error would be bumped up to. So there you have it. That's all there is to your week 9 MyStatsLab problem 1 example. We'll see you in a few.